While standard deviation was defined in the 19th century, we can trace quality to the late 1800s and Frederick Taylor. The division of labor theory gave rise to the vast majority of what we now call Six Sigma. In the 1920s, Henry Ford and Walter Shewhart began reshaping quality control into what we now consider Six Sigma. Their efforts were expanded on in Japan after the Second World War by Doctors Deming and Juran, leading to Japan's post-war economic miracle and eventually to the quality crisis of the 1970s and 80s. Numerous attempts were made to bring quality back to the United States, but it was not until the mid-1980s that Six Sigma would be born. Today, it is one of the most popular methodologies for quality control. Walter Andrew Shewhart was a physicist, engineer, and statistician who is known as the father of statistical quality control. He got his start working at Bell Telephone, where he was originally tasked with improving the clarity of the company's phones. But it was not until his work with Western Electric that he made a name for himself when he presented an intercompany memo to a supervisor in 1924. This memo featured a simple diagram which we recognize today as a standard control chart, and it included the essential principles and considerations we now call statistical process quality control. He understood the importance of reducing variation in a process and the concept of continual process improvement. William Edwards Deming was an engineer and a mathematical physicist who was known for championing the work of Dr. Schwartz. But he is best known for his work on Japan's reconstruction following World War II. Many Japanese credit Deming's work for the nation's post-war recovery. It was through his teaching and the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle that helped Japan transition from a country known for wind-up tin toys and cheap cameras to a company who produced affordable, reliable, quality automobiles and motorcycles, which created a level of competition that had never been felt before in the North American and European markets. Joseph Moses Duran was an engineer and a management expert best known for his work in post-war Japan. After World War II, Japan changed its focus from being a military power to that of an economic one. At the time, while the nation's manufacturers could compete on the prices of their products, they had a long-established reputation for poor quality. After the publication of his Quality Control Handbook in 1951, he was invited by the Japanese Union of Scientists and Engineers to lecture at the University of Osaka. He differed from Dr. Deming, whose focus was on statistical process control, and instead focused on the managerial aspect of quality control. In response to the stiff competition from Japan's ability to produce high-quality goods at competitive rates, North American and European organizations began implementing total quality management in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Total quality management is an organization-wide initiative to implement a permanent corporate culture where employees work to continuously improve their ability to provide on-demand products and services that customers will find of value. For total quality management to work, it must be implemented in all departments within an organization and be supported at all levels of management, with a focus on the active management of quality through funding, training, staffing, and goal setting. Total quality management maintained popularity throughout the 1980s and 1990s, when it was eventually phased out by ISO 9000, Lean, and Six Sigma. The Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle was first envisioned by Dr. Shewhart in the 1920s and popularized by Dr. Deming in the late 1950s. This four-step management method is commonly used for the control and continuous improvement of both products and services. We start the process by first recognizing an opportunity within a process and planning a change to that process. Next, we carry out a small-scale study where we test that change to determine if it is viable. As always, we need to review or check the results of that change. We need to analyze and determine the viability of that change. Finally, we take action. If the change was not viable, then we start the cycle over with a new plan, with a new change. But if the change is viable, then we implement the changes and look for new opportunities for improvement. ISO 9001 sets out the criteria for a quality management system. It can be used by any organization, large or small, regardless of its field of activity. In fact, there are over 1 million companies and organizations in more than 170 countries certified to ISO 9001. The standard is based on a number of quality management principles, including a strong customer focus, the motivation and implication of top management, the process approach, and continual improvement. Before one can seek ISO 9001 certification, they must first bring all out-of-control processes back into control and create the necessary standard operating procedures to manage that level of quality. The Malcolm Baldrige Quality Improvement Act was implemented in 1987, creating the Baldrige Performance Excellence Program and the annual Malcolm Baldrige Quality Award, which is managed by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. The Baldrige criteria are based on a set of core values that includes system perspective, visionary leadership, customer-focused excellence, valuing people, organizational learning and agility, focus on success, managing for innovation, management by fact, societal responsibility, ethics and transparency, and delivering value and results. The criteria are used by thousands of organizations for self-assessment and training, and as a tool to develop performance and business processes. Michael J. Harry was a statistician, quality expert, and author who is often credited for developing Six Sigma along with Bill Smith while he was working at Motorola. After he moved to ABB, Harry wrote the first Six Sigma book of knowledge, and with the help of Richard Schroeder, he opened the first Six Sigma Academy. He was credited with the success of both ABB and Allied Signal. Due to his efforts at Allied Signal, General Electric adopted Six Sigma for its quality control, and CEO Jack Welch became one of the most well-known Six Sigma champions. Quality control is crucial to the success of any business. It can either make or break an organization. Good quality products and services build trust and lead to repeat business. But bad quality costs an organization money and drives that business away. Every week, we upload new videos between 5 and 10 minutes in length, where we will focus on the concepts and strategic implementation of Lean and Six Sigma. As a Master Black Belt, I am passionate about quality, and if you are too, then click subscribe to be notified whenever we upload our next Lean Six Sigma video.